Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking. My name is Anne. Now in this tutorial I'll be using a pair of scissors, 0.5 of fishing line, round gold bead of 2 mm, pearl beads of 4 mm, and a needle for sewing. Okay, let's get straight to it. Now this is what we're going to make this beautiful beaded slipper over here. Before we start, please remember to subscribe if you've not subscribed yet to this channel. Thank you in advance. Okay, so I'm going to cut about 31 inches of the fishing line. Yep. So I will continue by picking 4 of the pearl beads. 4. And there. Cut. Okay, pardon my French. Okay, so I have 4 beads here. Now I'm going to use one side of the fish line. I place the 4 beads in the middle of the fish line. Then I'm going to cross with one side of the fish line through the last bead picked and pull it down. Basically the beginning or the process of matting. Okay, now after getting this, I'll use one side of the fish line to pick one bead and use the other side to pick another bead. Then I'll pick additional bead and cross it with both sides of the fish line. Okay. I repeat the steps that I did by just picking one for one side and another for the other side of the fish line and cross it with an additional bead picked. Okay. I pick one for one side, another for the other side, and additional one, then cross it with both sides of the fishing line. Okay. So guys, basically I'll repeat this until I have 32 of the beads on the sides of the mat and 33 in the middle. I will have, when you count the sides, it should be 32. Okay, after counting or after reaching 32, you tie it down by just passing your fish line through the holes in the beads and creating a loop and pulling the fish line through it to tie it up. Okay. After tying, I'm just passing my fishing line through the beads just to secure it firmly or just to avoid it from falling away if accidentally it gets seared or something. You can just cut it off, but I prefer to pass my fishing line through the beads after tying because I feel more safe there when it's being passed through the beads before cutting off. So this being done, I just cutting off the excess. Okay, so I have 32 for the sides and 33 for the middle. Now this is my covered slipper. I covered the slipper with satin bias. I'll leave the link to how to cover a slipper with satin bias in the description box below. I don't want to pierce through my slipper, so with the help of the satin bias used to cover the slipper, I'll be able to pass my my thread through the bias without piercing through the slipper. Now here I have my threaded needle. I didn't double thread it. I just should I say I threaded it in a 4 1/4. Let me put it that way. So it is not double thread. I didn't make a knot at the end. So to tie the bead down, I will basically sew through the bias. Before then, I need to secure the thread on the bias first. So that is what I'm doing. I pass my first line through the end through the satin bias. Okay, I will pass it through the same place like 3 times. So this is the second time, sorry, the third time. So I'm cutting off the excess of the fishing line. Okay, so this being done, I'm going to sew through the bead or the mats on the slipper. So I'll be passing my needle through the bead, through the holes in the bead, and sew through the bias on the slipper. So basically this is how I sew my beads down on my slipper. We have so many ways to do that. If you want me to make a video on how to make or how to sew down on the slipper different way, comment down below, say hi, yes you agree, and I'll do that. So I'll pass my needle through the bias and through the middle beads of the mat, and pass it through the next side bead of the mat, then pass through the bias closer to the middle bead or the next middle bead. Yep. Then I'll pass through the other side or the next side of the mat, then pass through the bias closer to the middle bead, then pass through the middle bead. Guys, this is simple. If you can't understand what I'm trying to put across, if you watch the video carefully, you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now I'm sewing this down. I just passed it through the bias and through the middle bead. So as you can see, I've done quiet war with the initial end of the slipper. So guys, basically this is what we're going to do to tie the bead down on the slipper throughout the bead, sorry, the yeah, throughout the slipper. So like this, it's done. If you're able to do it, comment bravo in the comment section. So now we are going to do the other side that I showed you on the slipper. Okay, but then we are going to count 14, the side bead, 14, so the 14th bead, or after skipping the 2 middle beads on the slipper, the next bead after the 2 middle beads is where we are going to attach the new beaded marked. So for this one, you should have 15 on both sides, 15, yeah, and 16 in the middle. Okay, so after that, to attach to it, I will pick one bead using one side of my first line and use the other side to pick another, just as how we do it. But instead of picking additional bead and crossing it, we are going to cross it using the 14th bead. Using the 14th bead that, yeah, this 14th bead, counting from the beginning. So use one side of the first line to pass through it and cross it with the other side, or pass through that 14th bead with the other side. So this is what we have. Okay, so after that, I'm going to pass my first line through this bead and the other side to also through that bead, just to secure it, or just to make it firm. This bead down, just tie it down, and yeah, I'll tie it down and cut it off. So this is what we have. Now it's time to add the gold or the round gold bead on the design. Okay, now to add that, I'm going to cut about 20 inches of the fishing line and tie down here. Tie it down through the top bead, or the beads in the middle. Then pass through the beads to secure it as I normally do. If you don't want to do that, you can just cut it off immediately after tying. Then I cut off the edges. Now after doing that, I'm going to pass my fish line from where it is being tied through the immediate middle bead, the very beginning middle bead, from where it is being tied up. Okay, so to continue, I'll pick 2 of the gold beads 2, 1, 2, and pass it or pass the fish line through the opposite middle bead, the very first opposite middle bead to the middle bead we have the opposite this. Okay, then I pull it. Okay, now after that I'm going to pass my fish line through the next side bead, through the next immediate side bead to the middle bead, then I pass it through the next middle bead. Now from 2 I'm going to pick 3 of the gold beads, 3 of the gold round bead, then pass it through the opposite middle bead. So it's obvious that we are using only the middle beads in the mat, the middle beads. After passing it through the middle bead, I passed it through the next side bead after the middle bead, then through the next middle bead after the side bead that you just passed your fish line through. Okay, so after that I'm moving on by picking 4 of the gold bead, 4 of the gold beads. Then I'm going to pass my fish line through the opposite middle bead, then through the next side bead, then through the middle or the next middle bead. From 4 you're moving to 6 straight, 6, so I'll pick 6 bead, 6 of the gold bead, and pass through the opposite middle bead. Okay, then through the next side bead, then the next side bead. Okay, after that you pass through the next middle bead, and pick 6 of the gold beads, because we are repeating, or we are making 3 of the 6 sets of beads. You're picking 6. Okay, 3, 3, 6. You have 3, 6 again. Okay, so I pass through the middle bead, then through the side or the next side bead, and through the next middle bead. Then I'll pick another 6 of the gold beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then through the middle or opposite middle bead, then through the next side bead, and through the middle bead. Okay. Now from the 6 sets of beads, I'm moving on to pick 7 beads. 7 beads, and pass through the opposite middle bead, then through the next side bead, and through the next middle bead. Okay, then I'll pick another 7 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then I'll pass my first line through the opposite middle bead. Okay, so I'll repeat this to the very last middle bead. Okay, so this is the last middle bead. I'm picking 7 beads. I'm picking 7 beads. Then pass through the opposite middle bead here. Okay, so after this being done, I'm going to tie it down by passing my first line through the holes in the bead. Okay, I tied it about 3 times. Then for me, I prefer securing it, so I'll pass the first line through the bead just to secure it firmly or to avoid it tearing. To pass my first line through the bead to avoid it from tearing. Okay, after this being done, I'm cutting off the excess fish line. Alright, so guys, this is it. We're done. Thank you for watching. This is the other half. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Love you guys. Bye.